Cloudcast Media. Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and we are pleased to have a return appearance from our friends from Rally4Reilly and Friends. Joining us is Stephanie Nichols-Rodas. Did I pronounce your last name correctly?
Yes, you
Very,
did.
very good.
Thank
She
you,
is the Director of Communication for Rally4Reilly, and she'll be talking about her experience, joined by Belinda Drieci. She is a director for the organization, and Jeff Sohlina. Did I pronounce your name correctly?
Yes.
Okay, very, very good. And he is a kinesiologist is it Reneu Health? How do you pronounce that? Reneu?
Yes, Reneu Health.
Very good. And a trainer for Stephanie Nichols-Rodas, joined by my co-host, and that is Kristen Fogel. She is the executive director of San Diego Writers, Inc., celebrating their 20th anniversary this year in Liberty Station. How you doing there, Kristen?
Doing well. Just a busy week, just like you, yeah?
It is off and running and crazy and all that business. We're going to start with you on this. Belinda, talk about the mission of Rally4Reilly and Friends.
What Rally4Reilly and Friends does is we are helping the spinal cord network. Some of you may know Riley's story. When he was 2, he had a spinal stroke. So they started off with a golf tournament, and they've gotten involved with the spinal cord network. That's how Stephanie came into this. So we want the public to know we're always looking for people to volunteer. We're always looking for sponsorships. So that's what we want to do, is get the message out about the spinal cord network and the advances that are coming into the industry, but also the setbacks or the challenges that we have with it.
You know, it was so impressive when Stephanie was on earlier and talking about her perseverance and just your upbeat attitude and so forth. But maybe you can talk about your story. Okay, what happened to you?
Well, like I said before, I had a car accident 7 years ago. C4, C6 quadriplegic. I broke my neck. I was never really into sports, but why not? You know, why not break our necks and spin a little that car? It's always fun. So since my injury, I've been having a hard time recovering, but it's been a lot of physical therapy. And that's why I wanted to invite Jeff from Reneu Health today, because I believe that physical therapy is very important for people when they have a spinal cord injury, especially at early stages, because even though they say that recovery for spinal cord injury is like the first 2 years, I've still seen people 25 years plus, still getting better, still getting steps in. And that's what matters. My hope is to get more people with spinal cord injury not have the death sentence that this is it, this is your life ending. It's not true. It's just a new life starting. You know, you meet more people, you get into, for me, it's been a lot of self-care, knowing myself, helping others, volunteering in all these places. For me, it's been an awakening that this community needs help. And we need to push forward in as much as we can to get that help, because a spinal cord injury is not a disease, but it's something that can happen to anybody at any time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what's so impressive about you is the fact that, the resilience and, hey, tomorrow's another day and we're going to even get better and we're going to help more people and do it that way. And then the next day we're going to do the exact same thing and just continue to upward and onward. And you bring up a very good point. Kristen, I'm not sure if you were on when Stephanie was on before. Were you?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, you would know. Trust me, because he was very.
Well, no, I have the memory of someone who doesn't have a good memory. Okay. So yeah, I would know.
It was quite inspiring in that aspect of it. And so, Jeff, talk a little bit about your company and what you do and how long you've been involved in this field.
Okay, so Reneu Health is a activity-based therapy center specializing in specializing in neurological disorders. We've been working with Steph for about 2 years now.
Wow.
So yeah, I've seen her coming in with little to no movement in her upper and lower extremities. Throughout the year or so, she's gained a lot over time, motor and sensory function. So yeah, so we've been training with her and just becoming very consistent with her therapy. So I'm very glad.
Well, obviously you've seen it as a Stephanie from day one that she met you, and now what she's doing now, and certainly, and will even probably the next time I see Stephanie will be even more. And then maybe one of these days she'll be out there in the Olympics. I don't know. Who knows? Doing these things. And but just talk about, Jeff, what got you into this field? Have you always been interested in neurological physical therapy, for lack of a better term?
I've always been interested in like the PT realm.
Yeah.
My dad got into a car accident when I was in high school. So I've taken him to PT sessions on a weekly basis. And, I got interested. I moved down to San Diego, went to college. And then after I graduated, I got into an internship, which led me into Reneu Health.
Nice.
And I did like 3 months of internship, and I got hired on. And yeah, I'm working with Reneu Health, and it's been an incredible experience so far.
Right. Now, you say you work with other, certainly Stephanie has a spinal cord injury. Do you work with other groups that don't have those types of injuries in the neurological space?
Yes, so I work with stroke clients, Parkinson's,
Okay.
MS, TBI, brain trauma injury clients as well.
Yeah, that's quite impressive, is it not?
It is, yeah. Belinda, I'm just wondering how you got into this field and, kind of your journey here.
I've always played sports all my life. When I turned 50, I got really sick. So it's about 15 years ago. Got really sick, and I went in, and I had this bacterial form of the mumps. Well, they decided to do a CT scan on my throat to make sure it wasn't closing up. And they came back and said, you need to go see a neurologist. You have 3 vertebrae that are in really bad shape. I went and talked to a neurologist. They ran all kinds of tests. I talked to 3 different surgeons, and they all told me the same thing. You need to have surgery. You've got a spinal stenosis, and that's where bone spurs are growing in. There's impingement. There was no synovial fluid going through. I was not going to do it because I was playing soccer. I had no pain. Made the decision that we were going to do that surgery. In the last 15 years, I now have 13 vertebrae that are in bad shape. I like to think that I have 14 that are really good. I just found out that I have 2 fractures in my lower spine. They didn't know they were there. So I was involved with another charity that did a huge golf tournament. And right as COVID was starting, Rally4Reilly was having their tournament. And the group that I was with asked, would I consider volunteering for that tournament? And I said, absolutely. I'm very good at getting money. So I run usually some of their contest holes. At that time then, I met the family, and it's just been an amazing family. And I met Stephanie, and just the people that I have met and going to these golf tournaments, and you look at the spirit of Stephanie instead of giving up, it's that attitude is, I'm going to keep going. This isn't going to hold me back. You're being told, no, you're never going to walk again. You're never going to do this again. And you look at Stephanie, 2 weeks ago, ballroom dancing with her husband in an upright wheelchair. That's how I did it.
Yeah, well, both those are inspiring as well. When we come back from break, I want to talk, more about this aspect of it. And Jeff, one of the things we always like to talk about on our show is careers, different careers people have, and so forth. And how would you recommend people to get in the career that you're doing as well? Stephanie, always want to talk about sort of the inspiration you have and what you would say to somebody whose life has just changed, like yours did, overnight. I think I know what the message will be in that. And then we always save time, as you know, Stephanie, for what our listeners can do to support certainly the foundation and all that business, and even the work of what Jeff is doing as well. When we return with our friends from literally Rally4Reilly and Friends, Stephanie Nichols-Rodas, Director of Communications, Belinda Drieci, a director for the organization, and Jeff Sohlina, kinesiologist with Reneu Health and the trainer for Stephanie Nichols-Rodas. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest running community podcast, now in our 18th year. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union for 6 decades, just doing great things in San Diego County. Joined by my co-host, Kristen Fogel, Executive Director of San Diego Writers, Inc. We will be.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and we are back with our Rally4Reilly and Friends, Stephanie Nichols-Rodas, Director of Communications, joined by Director Belinda Drieci, and Jeff Sohlina, Kinesiologist for Reneu Health and the trainer for Stephanie Nichols-Rodas. This is the Spotlight on the Community Show, now in our 18th year, the longest running community podcast, joined by my co-host, Kristen Fogel. She is the Executive Director of San Diego Writers, Inc. You were going to say something?
I don't know if I'm incorrect, but,
Let's say it anyway.
we can shout out Mesa College anyway. I believe when we had them on the show, their 4-year program that they are now offering is in physical therapy. And am I right?
Is that right,
do you
Jeff?
know if I'm wrong?
I actually don't know that. I went to Cal State. San
Okay.
Marcos.
Yeah. I think that's what she said, though. And I mean, if that's the case, I was going to shout that out. So
Yeah.
yay, Mesa College regardless.
Right, yeah. And, Ashanti Hands is the president of San Diego Mesa Halls. Let me go back to you, Jeff. We're talking right before break about this, about the career. Obviously, you love the career in physical therapy, but talk about those folks who want to get in this field. What do they need to learn? What do they need to do? What personality do you have to be to do what you're doing? And certainly empathy in the heart of as big as the solar system is important as well. So,
for schooling, of course, you need a 4-year degree in kinesiology. And then if you want to get into PT, you would have to go to grad school, of course. However, I did my internship at Cal State, which led me to the position here at Reneu. You have to learn a lot about the human body, physiology, anatomy, things like that. And then, for career-wise, I would definitely just keep your options open, keep interning, keep asking questions. If you're not comfortable with asking questions, ask your peers, ask family members, things like that. And that's how it got me into my career, just being very curious and asking more questions on that.
Yeah, but you also have to have in your genes that just, I'm going to be working with people that have had their lives turned upside down, okay? And I'm going to have to know how to deal with them in some very difficult situations. Not everyone can do that. admire the heck out of people who are caretakers for those folks who can't, really take care of themselves. And obviously what you've done is phenomenal. So did you think you had it within you when you were growing up? This has always been part of you?
No, I was very impatient growing up. I'm very hot-headed. But yeah, this field definitely taught me a lot of patience, and I'm still growing. I'm still learning as well too. So, but yeah, working with my clients, I have to be very, very patient, and yeah, it's definitely a learning.
Well, we're going to ask Stephanie this. Obviously, you've been working with her for 2 years. Stephanie's got a big smile on her face that you can't see through the internet on it. How great is Jeff as a trainer?
Well, honestly, everybody at Reneu Health, my trainers are awesome. Jeff has become more than a trainer, kind of like a best friend. When you go to physical therapy, especially when you have a spinal cord injury, it's like your body hates you every morning. So you wake up with the spasms and the pain, and you have to like you said, I go through the motions, and I'm like, okay, I got this, girl, let's get up. So we finally get up, and sometimes I really go to Reneu Health, and I'm just crying my head off. My body hates me, this, that, and he will listen to everything I have to say. We've gone pretty far, and it's very inspiring me. It inspires me to see them, how they put their body and their backs and everything for people. You don't see that everywhere. And if people can do that more, not break their backs, but be there for people, it'll be a different story,
Yeah, Kristen?
Yeah. No, I'm always admiring people. My mom has chronic pain, and you'd never know, looking at her, but just people going through so much that you would have no idea. I want to turn it back to Belinda for a second, and I want to talk about the organization if we can. Talk about the strategic plan. It's on there.
Well, the strategic plan going forward is to grow. Mm-hmm. We want to make this a bigger organization, and that's reaching out to the public. It's small right now, and we have to remember that spinal cord injuries don't end, and your life doesn't end when you leave that hospital or when you leave that rehab center. So we need to work with our communities, our large businesses, to have more sponsors. The sponsorships from the companies out there are the ones that are going to help us grow so that we can actually reach more people. They're in Stephanie's situation. Mm-hmm. They needed a van. So if she didn't have support behind her, she wouldn't have gotten her van. Mm-hmm. And we all know what our society is we live and breathe in our cars.
Yeah.
Right.
So you have to be able to get somewhere. Mm-hmm. In Stephanie's situation, she has a wheelchair that has to go.
Yeah.
So we need the community to know that there are a lot of people that are in Stephanie's situation. Mm-hmm. And the cost of it, and working with our physical therapists, our rehab centers, that let's get that word out, and that we as people, as a community, as a nation, can give back to bring more modalities for our patients that are in wheelchairs or that have any kind of spinal cord injury.
Yeah, or any injury. I think the inspiration of Stephanie, and thanks to what you do, Belinda, and of course what you do, Jeff, is whether you're in a wheelchair or there are other issues that you have going on that your life has changed for whatever reason overnight, is that life can be okay moving forward, and it takes a lot of grit, takes a lot of courage, takes a lot of mental toughness to do it. But look what you've done, and certainly, which is quite an inspiration. And I know you and your husband are so proud of that. And Jeff, what you've done to it too is phenomenal in that area. Kristen and I see a lot of guests that come through the program here, and some have had some pretty tough, times and all that business. But the resiliency and the grit when you think about it, is so inspirational. It doesn't make a difference where you are and what you've done in this. So I really applaud you, for that. What's the website, Belinda, where we can go ahead and make some contributions?
That would be www.Rally4Reilly, and the 4 is the actual number 4.
Right.
Rally4Reilly and Friends.
Right. And do you guys do events at all? You did mention you had some things.
We do multiple events.
Okay.
We actually have an annual golf tournament that we do that's a very large tournament, usually in the spring.
Okay.
And we've actually just done our second annual cornhole tournament.
How'd that
sounds
go?
fun.
That was awesome. It really was fun. We did it at Harry Griffith Park, and we actually couched it this year.
Sorry, it's walking distance from my house. I'm like, cornhole by my house. Yay. Okay.
And
Sorry.
we couched it with a family fun center group so that it could be a family event. So that you could bring the children under 12, could get their face painted. They could do the bouncing the house. And so,
Oh my gosh, we're going. When is it next?
We just had it last weekend.
No.
It
Okay.
was pretty fun.
Oh.
So we're actually, with the group that we have, are coming up with a lot more ideas. We float around potentially a pickleball tournament.
Huh.
So just
Fun.
So let me ask you this, Stephanie. Did you participate in the cornhole tournament?
I organized it.
Very good.
Nice.
Did your husband participate?
He did. My husband participated. My parents participated. My daughter participated.
And
Jeff
also I participated.
Nice.
Okay.
Oh.
And how did your husband do, Stephanie, in the event?
They did really well.
They did very good. How about you, Jeff? How'd
very
you
proud.
do? Did you do okay, Jeff?
I was all right.
No, I think that's terrific. We'll start with you on this, Jeff, and then go to Belinda, and then we'll end with Stephanie. Any final comments? What would you like to add?
I just would like to add, it's important that the community comes together, the SCI community and all the individuals to help raise funds for this special cause. It helps Stephanie and others to, continue therapy and just have access to, things like, having a van or other funds that they will need. So it's very important. So
Very, very good.
Yeah.
Belinda, any final comments?
Yes, I want to talk about the donations. I worked for a very large company. I've been retired for almost 3 years. And my company was amazing because we know November is mostly giving month.
Mm-hmm.
And they would do open giving. And our company did company matches for all of our employees that did a deduction. You could add our 401k to that, to your drop-down box. My company went also so far as it even volunteered the hours and the mileage. They would take that in a formula at the end of the year. They would write an additional check. So talk to your companies.
Yeah.
That's where we're going to get help.
Okay, right. And shout out that website one more time.
www.Rally4Reilly and Friends.
Very, very good. Okay, Stephanie, you're the star here. Any final comments?
Well, I will just jump in what Belinda said. It's very important to get those donations. We're heading to the end of the year. People are usually helpful through the end of the year. So if your company is looking to help somebody, please consider helping Rally4Reilly and Friends. We are focusing a lot in mental health resources and physical therapy. That's part of our strategic plan. And my goal is to get as much funds as I can to keep surprising people and helping others because I just, like Belinda said, I just recently got a van. And I always said accessible transportation has been the reason behind my depression. And that is because truth is that when you are in a wheelchair and you can't move, you can't go into just any car, you can't Uber. And not only that, when you go and purchase a van, so if a normal person goes and purchase a van, it's going to cost, like the van I got, it's going to cost them $16,000. Well, for me, it's $36,000 just to make it accessible. So there's a lot of people that cannot get out of their homes because they don't have accessible transportation. There's a lot of people that don't go to physical therapy and just give up because truth is that you have to be consistent. You have to force yourself. So if you're a person that has any kind of injury or any kind of neurological disease or situation hitting your life today, I would say you're not the only one. Get up and continue going, because even though if you have an off day, you never know who is waiting out there for you. So I tell people, just show up until the next day and do the best you can, because we're here. We're all in this together. So again, please, if it's in your heart, reach out to Rally4Reilly and Friends and give a donation. And if you want me to go to your business and talk to you about spinal cord injuries, I'm more than happy to do that as well.
Well, you're quite an inspiration and courageous, as we talked about before. And Belinda, thank you for your great support of Rally4Reilly and as well. Appreciate that. And Jeff, thanks for what you have done for Stephanie and everybody else that you work with. And again, encourage everyone to get involved with the Rally4Reilly. Say hi to Mark for me. I know he couldn't make this interview. You've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, the nation's longest running community podcast, now in our 18th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union for 60 years, doing great things in San Diego County. We hope you enjoyed the interview.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.